Oh, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Furred Atlantic Studios. Your host, Joe, that's me, and some guy, Ed. How are you doing, Ed? How are you doing?
Good, mate. You? I was
Yeah,
going
I
to start
mean,
off with a little intro for anyone who might just be watching for the Super Bowl show. So, what basically, and just to recap what we did, because we're coming to the end of the second season. So, what we did is that every week we went on, picked matchups between us, did a draft format. Whoever won that week gets a point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the regular season gets the first pick in the playoff draft, which is what we did. So, we had all the 14 playoff teams, and because you won the regular season, you had the first pick, and then we went back and forth picking teams to win the Super Bowl. And there was some strategy involved in our drafting. Some teams were taken a bit too high, some were taken too low. There were some bold picks definitely there. I think what you had the Bengals with your fifth pick, and it was
well, fifth
sorry,
overall.
the fifth pick overall. Yeah,
Yeah.
your third pick. And yeah, to be fair, it was the only team left once you get to the final four. It was your only team left. And then, luckily enough, compared to last year, where you won last year because both your teams made the Super Bowl, we had
Yep.
your team versus my team. I had the Rams, you picked the Bengals, and we had a competitive game. We said it was going to be a one possession game, and well, like all the other playoffs games, which wasn't really a bold take after a while. And I came up on top. So I'm waiting for you to run me my crown after you went and did the whole thing last year. So you know my address, you know my postcode, you know where to send it to. So come true.
All I'm gonna say. I can't even I'm not even gonna lie. It was tough. Well, no, it wasn't tough. It was a great game. Like I said, we both predicted. Well, first of all, congratulations to the Rams.
Oh, thank you.
Great. It was a great overall NFL season. I think an amazing playoffs. If we're going to go down that route, had the kind of crown, had something else in my mind ready for if it went back to back. Like you said, the Bengals were my third pick. I thought I was gonna, psych you out, maybe get you to pick Bills with the next pick, and then I picked Rams on the backside. But yeah, you got the Rams there. Good pick, good value for both of us. What both of our third picks made it to the Super Bowl.
Bengals was your one, two.
No, because I
Yes,
went
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Packers, Bucks. Yeah, went Packers, Bucks, then
So
Bengals. You went Chiefs, Titans, Rams.
Chiefs, Titans, Rams. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, before we're gonna, it's the game within the game, as you said. Like when it coming into this to the week, what did I say? I just wanted a good game, one that I would be up for and not, like when they turn off in the third quarter. And what a game that was. People will complain if people, some fans, complain straight away about the calls at the end. That Wilson pass interference definitely wasn't. I'm holding, sorry, on Cooper Cup. That was just amazing defense in the end zone. However, if the people with selective memory do not forget that the Bengals got a whole touchdown off a penalty that wasn't called.
I was I was listening to a bit more of that. Yeah, of course it was PI, but I think it was a bit more egregious than it looked. No, it looked much more egregious than it was because
No,
Jalen was also nowhere near it as well.
Jalen was nowhere near it. But no, what he did was in the run up. Obviously, he did the little star to get Jalen to look, and then he did grab his mask. I'm not gonna lie, dude, the
Yeah, yeah,
mask
yeah.
pull was there. The
Yeah, no,
mask pull
yeah,
was
yeah, I
there
agree with that.
on T Higgins, so that one was a definite penalty. It didn't get called. Cool. Bengals, score a touchdown and they use that to go up or whatever. And then later it comes back to bite them in the ass when they do get called for
Yeah.
a holding on on a route that wasn't there, which was actually perfect defense. So fair
I
play to him.
I don't care about all
I
the
mean,
refereeing stuff.
fair play to him for actually doing the defense. But like you said, one was called, one wasn't called. In fairness, it balanced it out. The other five chances, I'm not too sure. Eli Apple, oh, he's getting killed.
Who
Um,
who had a worse game, Eli Apple or Jalen Ramsey? Just purely game, just pure game.
pure. If you actually,
Because
if we
like
just take it in snap for snap, it's
Eli,
Jalen Ramsey.
yeah, Eli's getting grilled just for his antics
Yeah,
and stuff, and obviously he
yeah.
lost as
If
well.
if
But
if we take it snap for snap, it's definitely Jalen Ramsey. However, because he did good things in that
yeah,
game as well. But the bad thing was the importance of the snap that Eli Apple
yeah,
uh, had the bad defenses on was a game-winning touchdown, a kind of big play to set up or to help the drive move forward. in that game-winning drive, and then you add the antics on top of that.
Yeah, of course.
Like even when you look at even his old teammates are killing him, and like that's when you like.
I didn't know how his teammates didn't like him. Mike Thomas was calling him out. I was like, whoa, okay,
right.
whoa.
Like even like I think it was Gardner. Was it Gardner Johnson?
Johnson Thompson,
like,
whatever his name.
Yeah,
Katarina Johnson.
One of them.
That's the
like people hate him.
I know you mean,
yeah.
Really?
People hate him, and even he had a little. I'm pretty sure he had a little jab in there as well. So like.
And they
when you look at it and you're like,
I could maybe understand because obviously Mike Thomas plays opposite position, but he was in the same secondary as Eli. That's even more interesting.
Like his old teammates are killing him. Teammates that are at one place and now have moved to others are killing him. People that he faced going through this playoffs are killing him. People that are on the same team as him and are still on that team when he left are killing him. Like there's just nothing. He's not safe. The fans are killing him. He's not safe from anyone. Obviously, he must have his phone off from then. Like, there's no way. The phone that he's using day to day for this last how many days has got Twitter on it or Instagram. Like, it's mad.
I was listening to this one NBA podcast and they were talking about NBA podcast. So they're talking about Ja Morant, who's like, he climbs up the chimney because he wants all that smoke. And fair play to Ja Morant because he can back it up. But when it doesn't turn out that way, you get a bit of an Eli Apple. But anyway, what the overall the game? The Bengals. I thought at one point it was like shit. Rams are going to cock this up. They can't get anything going offensively. Their run game isn't doing anything. Their defense just kept taking over. There's all these like different like fours and outs, and like defenses were doing really, really well. Yeah. But then that final drive from Cooper Kupp in the end with Stafford and that no look pass that everyone's talking about. What a really fun play! What an amazing play.
First of all, Odell and Coop at the beginning with Stafford. Oh, they were killing the game, killing it. It was about to get ugly. Unfortunately, Odell scores. Great, everyone's happy again. Everyone so like for him. So not too many people didn't want Odell to score in this game. Okay, now he gets injured. And it's the same knee, it's the same ACL supposedly. Like, well, we think it's like it's a bad thing happening, and then that happens, and then the Rams just stop. And they not only just stop, like his replacement is causing interceptions.
So I was listening to a pod that was talking about the way the Rams set up, which I'd love to have known this detail beforehand, which was the way Rams line up is three bunch on one side and then one on the other side. And Odell was always the one on the other side. So Cooper Kupp is on the slot with the bunch. So the reason why they have that is because you can either choose to go for Odell or double team Odell, but then that means you're not double team Cooper Kupp. Or if you're double team Cooper Kupp in the slot, that means then you're leaving Odell one-on-one, which is why it works so well. When you change that dynamic, when Odell isn't on the team, then you don't get those same opportunities. So when they were doing really well at the end of the drive, is when they were doing a bit more hurry up offense and increasing the tempo. That's when even the Bengals players, that's when they said that they were having issues with the final drive, which I found super interesting. That dynamic's like, oh wow.
But it shows you instantly, like, although we called like the Rams a super team, they had to go and get these pieces because they weren't deep. Like, obviously they have names everywhere, but they weren't deep in position groups. So it worked out. But so that slowed down the drive, and then the Bengals kind of locked in. And I said, like, if it gets to halftime and the game is close, the Bengals are going to win this, but they are going to come back. They are definitely going to come back, and that's what they did. The defense kind of locked up for the majority of the second half. They were going for it time and time again. If it wasn't a touchdown, McPherson unfortunately tied the record, but didn't get the last one. But they were coming away with points out of every drive. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, not every drive, but
he was the only kicker drafted last year. I told you he was the only kicker drafted last year.
Yeah, and he earned it.
How many kickers will be drafted this year? More or less than 3.
I say 4.
Oh, you say more? Okay, I was going to take under.
That's a high number, isn't it? That is a high number. That is a high number. 4 is a high number.
It's such a copycat league. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 4 or more. They'd be like, no, fuck it. We're going to use a 7th round pick or 6th round pick just to get the kicker we want.
Yeah, because that guy's going to get cut anyway for the most part. So you might as well get a camp leg in.
Yeah.
And then so then the Rams come back in. Some Coop and Aaron Donald. And then Von Miller as well, actually. They turn around and eventually just go.
So happy for Von Miller.
Enough.
Shannon made a great point. He's like, bro, you're not gonna when you're playing with a sorry franchise where you can't pass rush, you just have to play the run because your team's losing. It's so different. I was like, oh shit, that's a good point as well, and that makes complete sense. Complete sense. But
so yeah, a team thought Von was dead. He's in the Super Bowl again. He now has I think he's tied now or has the most sacks in the Super Bowl.
Oh wow, really?
Not in Ace, but in like
overall,
in Super Bowls.
Cumulative Super Bowl
so he's on 4.5 in 2 games. The previous record was 4.5, and I think in like 7 games. So there's that. So the Broncos. You didn't get enough of one. I'm telling you that now. Aaron Donald.
7 games.
Like you can only triple team him so much. Yeah. You can only triple team him so much. You cannot always. He was playing the run phenomenally. Like the run, he was stopping runs from behind the running back. Yeah. Make that make sense, Ed.
I mean, I talked to you about the whole homegrown stuff. Gosh, how annoying is that? He's a Pittsburgh guy. You would love to have Aaron Donald and TJ Watt. Well, it would mean TJ Watt would be on.
No, it wouldn't.
On the what team would he be on? He would be on who's in Wisconsin? Oh, he'll be on Green Bay. TJ will technically be on Green Bay if we're doing it like that because he's a Wisconsin kid. Yeah. But having Aaron Donald there,
like it's scary because some of the plays he was making. So Von on the pass rushes, he was doing the stunts and getting free. Aaron Donald was double covered, and then he would still make a move. And then the guy would have to triple cover him. So then now the defensive lineman next to him had just suddenly gone from being blocked to just uncovered, just like that.
Something we've also spoken about is Aaron Donald at time can be petulant. Maybe because obviously he's getting double teamed and whatnot. But like when he's had scuffles with offensive linemen, it's sort of like what are you doing, like mate? It's not that. But he had a scuffle, but he was really mature in the way he reacted.
No, but it changed. It changed the game. That scuffle changed the game. He ran, obviously caught Burrow on the sideline and pushed him out.
Completely fair.
Now the Bengals O-line have to.
Yeah.
Let me repeat: the Bengals O-line have to now attack.
If that was your QB, you would have done the same thing.
If that's your QB, you have to attack Aaron Donald right there.
How many times?
However,
how many times did you do that at Hearts? Was it an often occurrence? Did you like your QB that much? Was it often?
We didn't like our QB. For the most part, we didn't like our QBs that much, but we still did because, well, first of all, no people were getting that close to our QB, so we were serious about that.
Sorry.
But if they did, like, don't worry, we handled you, yeah. But now, because you've done that with Aaron Donald, after that, like it was one of those Jordan moments. It was like, and I took that personally. Yeah. He took it, but from then on, nothing went on. The next play, 2 plays later, was the actual sack on Burrow. And that's when Burrow started now doing getting up slowly. Remember, he screamed. Yeah. Von Miller caught him and twisted his knee, bro.
I was up and Stafford as well. I was worried Stafford as well because his leg got caught there as well.
Bro, after that little scuffle, QB started getting hurt. And so, like, what can you do? What really can you do at that point?
I was probably thinking, who are their backup quarterbacks? I knew Blake Bortles was at the Rams for a little bit, but I think that was a couple years ago. I don't think he's there anymore. But
I thought Burrow was done, by the way. I really did. Because I saw the way that knee twisted. It has happened to me. I was out for half a year. See you next season.
So, moving forward now, Rams, they've got a couple of free agents coming out. I think Odell Beckham's a free agent. Wait,
hold on. Wait. Look.
Go on.
7 sacks, most in the Super Bowl ever.
Well, we're not surprised by that, though. We're not surprised by it.
Yeah, but 9 sacks one week, 7 sacks next week. And most of those sacks came in after that scuffle.
That's why obviously I thought your run with the Bengals was a bit fluky because I thought, surely they can't keep this up, especially the game against the Chiefs. So Chiefs
they were winning. They were winning and the sacks started coming then. They held up for the most part and while they were winning.
Also, turnover battles. The Bengals were up 2-0 in terms of turnover battle, which usually is the killer in the NFL. But
so like you were saying, the Rams, the team has to break up because they went all in this year. When you go all in for a year, you can't keep the team the next year.
They've been going all in for a couple years.
Yeah, it's true. But someone has to pay eventually. So let them know the contract situation's Ed.
And I don't know, the one that really stood out to me, I know they got some other pieces was Odell, but because they just don't have that many first round picks. Maybe actually it's not a big thing. I don't have that many first round picks because they need those rookie contracts. You need those rookie contracts to overperform what they earn, and they don't have a lot of those. So as you said, depth is going to be interesting.
Yep.
But again, I'm not mad at it. If you're going to go on, fuck it, go on. And like, I think I was listening to again another NBA one. They'll talk about the James Harden trade to the Sixers, and they're like, Sixers are like, bro, we're not going to win anything anyway. So let's get in James Harden. If he gets injured, he gets injured. Like, fuck it. Like, we're screwed anyway if our best player gets injured. So let's just get in an elite player, which I hear is a strategy. If it works, it pays out. If it doesn't, then whatever. But
it's interesting because 2 teams went all in this year, though. So it was them, and so the Rams, and then the Cardinals.
I mean, I want to say
Cardinals were the last. They went all in. The Cardinals were the last unbeaten team this year, and then they went out of the during the playoffs like terribly.
Yeah, I think
first round. Terrible.
Rams is easy to find as all in because of all their first round picks that they traded away. Like, okay, we don't have any first round picks until fucking the next decade.
The Rams just decided to pay everyone big money.
Short term contracts, I don't mind that. Like 1 year, right,
exactly short term. Like this can't last forever.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Next year, how do you think the Rams will do next year? Are you picking them for the playoffs?
No. Well, they're picking them for the well. We really have to see how they deal with this free agent situation because, like I said, Odell rumored torn ACL, repeat torn ACL. He's a free agent, so how's that going to go?
That could work to the Rams' favor. They could be like, hey, we'll give you a short 1 year contract just so you can recover with us, stay on the team for a little bit longer. That could slightly work to the team's advantage.
Like Eric Weddle started in the Super Bowl.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, but he was a starting center and it was a starting safety in the Super Bowl. He came off the couch 3 weeks ago. So he's going back to the couch with a Super Bowl ring. I doubt he'll come back again. I doubt it because he retired for a reason.
Yeah.
And he torn his pec, I think. That's what it looked like anyway. Who else we got? We got Aaron Donald will Aaron Donald will forever be there. Yeah, Aaron Donald will forever be there. Von, I'm not sure his contract situation because he got traded, so we don't actually. I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was up this year as well.
Not sure, but again, Odell was the main one that stuck out for the exact reasons I was telling you in terms of the way their offense functions when they've got Odell there. From a Bengals side, how do you think they'll do next year?
They're not going to Super Bowl.
No, of course.
Everyone's saying they'll be back. I don't think the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. I don't think the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl next year. Everyone says they'll be back, but the Super Bowl hangover is the realest. Do you think the Chiefs? No, the Chiefs. Everyone thought the Chiefs were going to go back this year. Obviously, they didn't.
Yeah.
The Chiefs went one year, went back the next year. They lost it and didn't make it. So there's that. There's the Bengals weren't supposed to make it this year, and they lost. So they are not going back next year. I think the heartbreak is too much.
The Bengals have got 8 picks this year in the draft: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 and 7. How many of those 8 players will be offensive linemen?
All the professionals are saying they need at least 3. They're 3 and for that, I think that have to be 1, 2, and 3. There is 1, 2, and 3 should all be O-line. I don't think it would happen though. I don't think it would happen.
I was listening to again another good point about the offensive line is it's not about who your strongest one is; it's about who your weakest link is.
Yeah.
Which again, another great point because they're targeting your weakest link. It's about who your weakest link is. So to be fair, they could take 4 or 5 O-line. They can all be at the end of the draft and be like, "Cool, like we just need security, Rob." But I'm completely with you. They need some pieces there. 4
or 5 at the end of the draft. Ed, this is the NFL. Yeah. These guys are likely to be starters. We've seen how this performed. So,
I mean, we had a couple O-linemen like rookie team of the year, PFF O-linemen. And it just hasn't gone well second or third year. But
so what I'm saying is, I think 2, and they try and integrate them. If they could get 5, to be honest, and they all be terrible and not make up to level. The amount you pick is almost as is obviously not as important as the quality of the picks. But I think the quality of O-linemen, like the elite ones coming in, is very little, very minimal compared to the amount that are available. And if you're not picking 1 and 2, if you're not picking top 5, I doubt you'll get the O lineman this year that you want.
You're not filling me with a lot of joy there, because most of the mock drafts I've seen is Jags taking an O lineman number one, but there isn't like a number one guaranteed pick at O line. I think there's
I think there's
Evan Neal is one that's
Ikem, yep, Evan Neal,
about.
Ikem out of North Carolina as well.
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah.
Two. Those are the two that are being raved about. It's the same as last year when it was, what was his name? Out of Oregon, Penaisal, and
Elijah
the one
Vera
from Northwestern.
Oh no,
no,
Elijah Vera wasn't from Northwestern. Or was it Elijah Vera you're talking about?
Elijah Vera, and there was one from Northwestern, so 3.
The year before, I think there was like fucking 10 O line. There was Andrew Thomas. Exactly. There was
college aren't making O linemen like they used to.
No, but they had like 6 of them.
Tristan
Wirfs. Yeah. There were like a bunch of them. I think even the Chiefs picked up Creed Humphreys last year.
I wanted Creed Humphreys. However, our guy weren't too bad.
They should draft the O line instead of running back, but cool, it's fine. Like Najee Harris is pretty good and everyone loves him, but yeah, cool, that's fine.
No, I mean our center that we ended up getting was all right. Like he wasn't terrible. He is kind of one of them very aggressive guys, which is good. He is likely to a penalty, but it is what it is.
Again, this year's draft seems super weird. I've seen all these like safety being taken top 5. The Kyle Hamilton geese, I think his name Kyle Hamilton. And how will the pass rush go with Kayvon? Go ahead. Not Kayvon Jason. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Oh, Thibodeau.
Would he be taking it? He's a Jags guy. Yeah, he's a Jags. Okay. Yeah. Since you brought him up, do you know what his name on Instagram is? His name on Instagram is Sack Guru. Do you know how many sacks he has in 2 years?
2.
He has 2 more sacks than me in the NFL, and he's a sack guru. But anyway, sorry, I just had to get that off my list.
That's rude. That is rude.
Anyway, that's a dickhead statement. But anyway, I
think there's Hutchinson is apparently going to be the 2nd pick, and I think there's someone said they're taking O-line first. Evan Neal, you said. So like, it is what it is. Like you don't. I don't think. Obviously, the Bengals, unless they trade up on a mad one,
maybe
they're not getting a premier O lineman. So now the question is, wow, and what happens to the people they're losing this year? Obviously, we don't know who's leaving, but they weren't supposed to make it, even with their guys. So
it's a good point, because they weren't preparing to have they weren't in a Rams situation where the Rams are, all right, cool, we need to pick up an elite player here because we're missing an elite player in this position. Bengals like, okay, cool, we just need someone who just isn't bad. We just need someone who just can, which is, again, another podcast I was listening to. They were like, we just need, this is what happens when you end up having Cooper Kupp, who is covered by Eli Apple. That's not what you want. You want someone a little bit better in that position. Maybe if they'd known, they would have gone for Stephon Gilmore. They would have traded a 1st or 2nd round pick for Stephon Gilmore. It's like, oh, you know what? We have a chance this year. Let's get an elite player in this position.
Mike Hilton, the nickel, I think he's playing nickel corner for them. He did for us. We didn't sign him. We let him go. He went to the Bengals, ended up in the Super Bowl. First TD was caught over him. So stuff like that.
I think JC Jackson is also a free agent this year as well. One of the best cornerbacks in New England. I think he was a Pro Bowl this year. I think he was all pro as well. But yeah.
However, people are now starting to, apparently guys are starting to view the Bengals as like a kind of destination to go to.
That would definitely happen.
So the problem is now, obviously, that's turning out. Obviously, now you can go there and kind of demand what you want in terms of pay, because now that they think they're knocking on the door, maybe that'll give you a chance to overpay someone with a little bit of a name. So now's the time to go there. Let's just say no one wanted to go there before this year.
You'd hope
now's the time to build a team.
You'd hope the front office don't rest on their laurels and start thinking that the shit don't stink, because they did a great job in terms of signing Trey Hendrickson as a free agent last year from the Saints. They did a great job of drafting Jamar Chase with their first pick. Let's just hope they don't start thinking their shit don't stink.
Everyone said they should have got O-line. They should have, but they should have got Jamar Chase too.
Yeah, so exactly.
I don't know how that was going to work, but now maybe is the time.
Maybe they don't take an O-lineman at all this year. They wait for the 7th round and like draft all these other positional players, and it turns out being better. But I highly doubt that.
But there will be a Super Bowl hangover. I don't think the Rams will make it. Stafford had 1 year on his deal. He didn't have a long deal either. So they're kind of going to be in a rebuild in maybe 1 or 2 years as well. So who knows when the next time we'll see the Rams in the Super Bowl? They were there.
a rebuild with 0 draft picks. Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly. They were there, what, 4 or 5 years ago? No, it wasn't 5 years ago. It was 4 years ago.
What do you mean?
The Rams are the last in the Super Bowl 4 years ago.
Oh, it was first year, I think it was 2018, I think.
Yeah, so 4 years ago.
18 or 19. No, because 2018, that's when we graduated. 2018 was Eagles. Eagles, Pats, I think it must have been 2019.
Yeah. So some of their players were still there. You get my, like, not the main guys, but some of the back, the mid roster guys were still there. A lot of them may not be, like, won't be there for the next one, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's
so they're going to
NFL.
be,
There's so much.
they're going to be funneling through like a kind of a lot of people. It'll be interesting to see what McVay can do to get in. They obviously traded the house to get this one. They can't trade anymore, so how will they build it?
2 firsts for Jalen, 2 firsts for Stafford. There's 4 first-round picks there, and just Jalen Ramsey and
so you're gonna have to start trading your big names to get them back, to get those picks back if you're rebuilding, and that's not gonna happen.
Cool. So let's finish off. Do you have any final words on the season before we talk about our predictions for our 2 teams going for next year?
Phenomenal season, absolutely phenomenal season. I can't hate it. There were ups, there were highs, there were lows, there were the big names crumbling, the big names performing at times, David and Goliath stories, all that, and a good Super Bowl to boot. So I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, Jags beating the Colts was a very nice biggest point spread victory in like very, very long time. Love to see it.
Opener as well. So it started off in a madness as well.
Yeah. Oh, and it led to potentially the something that would have been just like new, like not front page, but like actual newspaper stuff. You're like, shit, did you hear what happened? Like the most unlikeliest thing happened, and could it be cheating? Blah 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 blah. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, really fun season. Love that they have an extra playoff spot from when they announced it a little while back. It's annoying that they added the Super Wildcard weekend as another game on a Monday instead of there being 3 games on a Saturday, 3 games on a Sunday. It makes it harder for the international audience to watch, but it is what it is.
Obviously, they've announced the international series, by the way. 3 at Wembley. No, 1 at Wembley, 2 at Tottenham, 1 in Munich. 1 in Munich, 1 in, I think there's, isn't there 2? No, 1 in.
I can't remember how many they had in Germany, but I know they have it in Germany now.
Yeah, they have, I think 2 in Germany, 1 in Mexico.
They haven't won in Mexico.
Yeah, they're like they've had 1 in Mexico for the last couple of years.
Didn't they have one last year? I swear.
I think COVID stopped them. Okay. COVID stopped them, but
I remember 2 years ago because they were complaining about the turf. But yeah. That was also another thing that I think I saw someone mention online, was about how like the turf could have been one of the reasons about Odell's injury. But yeah, anyway.
He's not good. He's not used to good turf.
No, that you shouldn't have turf pitches. You should have like grass or something of that nature. That this specific field that makes it. No, I mean, again, I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah. Any thoughts for the Steelers for next year, or before we get to the season, during the off season?
With this big international push, it will be interesting to know the games, the teams that are going out to these games.
Yeah.
Because I think that I low key think that alters some team seasons. Like not everyone, so you can't blame it on the game. But the ones that don't handle it well, they get kind of messed up for maybe a week or 2 after the game, if you know what I mean. So that could swing a season.
I was gonna say I had last time we went, it was 2 years ago. We went to watch the Jags and Houston play in Wembley, and I got a little bottle, which I still use to this day. It's like a little water bottle that I take with me to work. And do you remember the four teams that were on it?
No.
It had Jags, Texans, and then it had Bengals and Rams, because the Bengals played the Rams in London a couple years back. It's pretty cool. Imagine if that's like the first NFL game you went to, and that's when you started following the NFL, and like you decided, okay, I'm going to have an AFC team, I'm going to have an NFC team, and they're going to be Bengals and Rams. I'm just going to follow both, which isn't something inconceivable to think of. And then a couple years later, they're both in Super Bowl. You're like, what a nice little.
Okay, I think the Cardinals implode this year. That they do every year. Okay, I think Aaron Rodgers stays with the Packers.
Okay.
Russell Wilson's, he stays with the Seahawks, but it's like a forced relationship. He tries to force his way out again. They force it. If this is as long as Pete Carroll doesn't retire, which he shouldn't. So Although I think that Steelers make a big push, or a couple of teams make a big push secretly for Russell or one of these veteran QBs, and there's a team that is trying to sign Deshaun Watson.
Okay, so the whole
his verdict comes.
QB thing I find quite interesting. I might relate to the NBA with James Harden and Ben Simmons, because these were, let's just say, elite players for the sake of the argument. They were elite players that weren't happy where they were and wanted to move to different places. It'd be really cool to see like that same thing happening. Like, for example, Russell Wilson goes to Green Bay, then Aaron Rodgers goes to, let's say, Houston. A complete random example. Then Deshaun Watson goes to Arizona, and then Kyler Murray goes to Seattle, and just completely just does like a complete turn. That would be like really just like everyone's happy all of a sudden, but in situations where people weren't happy yet before. Yeah.
I think that's a situation like that is a couple years down the road as more and more, because this is now twice in a row that QB has left their long-lasting or their long-standing home and won a Super Bowl that next year with the new team.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, first Super Bowl with the new team.
If that happens one more time, just one more time, all bets are off. QBs are now flying everywhere.
Okay, let's say that. Let's have a prediction for that. So, out of all the QBs, let's say next year will be what? Next year, the Super Bowl will be won by a QB on a new team. Who is that QB going to be?
If it actually happens, I think Russ is the one that moves.
No, so Russ is your prediction.
Yeah, I think Russ is the one that moves. If that does happen,
I think the obvious answer is Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, Russell.
I think he really does stay with the Packers though, and then he does the same thing next year and losing the playoffs with a team that looks really good.
Maybe the Packers. I was going to say,
and maybe, that is when the Packers let him go finally, because he's still on the thing, isn't it? So that's when.
Would it make sense to do a Packer with Packers and Seahawks to do a trade like of quarterbacks? But it wouldn't make sense because Seahawks are probably rebuilding, and Aaron Rodgers definitely doesn't fit that timeline.
And Packers don't want to trade Aaron Rodgers in the NFC.
Okay, but then maybe then the Seahawks would look for one of the younger QBs in terms of Kyler, or who's unhappy. I don't know all that stuff with Kyler. Or maybe look for young QB in terms of Kyler or Deshaun Watson. Maybe
it'll be, and then the reason I think it's more next year is because of, or the year after, is because because the new coach. That all depends on the new coach that comes in. However, I think that is more, the carousel is more likely to happen the year after, because that's when more I think the eyes on the good QBs are coming into the draft, so people were more likely to jump off at that point.
The new Dolphins guy was the offensive coordinator on the 49ers, so maybe that's Jimmy G potential if he liked them.
Yeah, but I think they're hiring their coaches based on who likes Tua, because Brian Flores didn't like him.
Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah.
So I think they're hiring on who likes Tua. Yeah. So Jimmy G is gone.
Yeah.
Where is Jimmy G going?
Yeah.
I think Trey Lance stinks, by the way. I don't think he's actually bad. I think he stinks next year. That's why they've held on to Jimmy G for so long.
Because there's Jimmy G stuff as well, but then there's also Kirk Cousins stuff. What happens with him? There is
Carson has to take a pay cut for anything.
Carson Wentz.
He's still but he's under contract. All the fans might want him gone, but
no, I think those front office rumblings as well.
Yeah. Is it?
I think so. I'd love for him to go to the Steelers.
Dougie P. What happens with Dougie P?
We've got a QB. Yeah,
but it didn't work. Last year was atrocious.
Yeah, that's because you know why. You know why last year was atrocious. We don't need to.
People are now questioning Trev.
Yeah, it's fine.
Is he really that guy?
Completely fine to question, because he made some boneheaded decisions last year at times, and completely fine to question him. He's a rookie. That's fine. But
I think the next, I'll say 5 years, but that's not as exciting. I think in the next 3 years, another team relocates.
Really? Oh. Why'd you have to bring it up as soon as we talk about Jags?
I think it's the Bears, actually.
No, that would never happen. They're a historic franchise.
It will never happen. However, they're looking at facilities a couple towns over.
That's fine. That Arlington, it's not. Jerry World isn't in Dallas. Sorry, it's in Arlington. Like,
yeah, fine. But technically, it's the same name, but they relocated in it. Like, they don't like the stadium.
That's different. No, to be fair, I did go by Soldier Field, but when I went, how long ago was it? A year before COVID. Yeah, it was like minus 10 degrees outside, and I was like, "Nah, fuck that! I can't be asked to go to Wrigley Field and Soldier Field. Let's just get back in the car."
These places are historic, but they're not revamping them. Like they're falling apart. Oh, name change. What do you think about the name change?
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, horrible,
shit.
absolutely horrible.
I mean, to be fair, Old Trafford is a dump right now as well. So
Yeah.
Cool. Jags are making the playoffs next year. We'll make it. We're going to be the new Bengals. Heard it here first.
Hold on. Okay. Brady retires. Aaron Rodgers stays. The Rams have to implode. I say Raiders makes a run.
Nice. Raiders make. Who's a random team that I really want to make a run? A random team that could do it.
No, Rich Versace is gone, isn't it? Who?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Can't remember who they got, but yeah, Rich is gone. Oh, to be fair, I would not have been mad if Jags had him as a head coach either, but yeah.
Bucks go from top to bottom.
Jameis Winston's another one who could be going somewhere.
Some people have forgotten and are calling for a reuniting of the Dubs. I don't think that's a good idea.
But again, no. Remember, he had that sight issue. Yep. Now that he's got his eyes fixed, no more pick sixes.
Okay, Saints don't make the playoffs. Jameis goes back to the whoever is at the Bucks. They go from top to bottom.
Yeah. Right. Final words.
Amazing. Well done, NFL.
Right. And also, can I? Do you not give me any props? Can I not get my props?
Best halftime show of all time.
Okay, cool. You're not going to give me my props.
Fair play. Fair play for picking the Rams. I did want them.
I was going to
quit. You called my bluff.
You wanted me to pick 3 AFC teams. I already took Titans. Already took the Chiefs. You want me to go Bills as well?
Yeah.
And need to diversify my portfolio. Needed to diversify. All right. Peace, bud. Speak to you soon.
Peace.